Hey everybody, welcome back to the Minifan Mash. Fortunately tonight we won't be dealing with racism or Gig's career or Ned Snark's family history. It's the love hour. So
Woo!
Mrs. LK and I are dealing with the sort of romantic questions that you've been sending in, and then coming up later in the hour there's a little bit more of an R-rated chat about love and sex, I think. So
With a
obviously,
bunch of men. It's going to be riveting.
yeah, how are you, Mrs. LK?
I'm doing well. How are you, Manners?
I'm good, thanks. Uh, so before we sort of started, you said you've got some rules that you've put down in your household for Mr. LK to follow,
Yep.
and I think this might be useful for everyone out there who's maybe going through a tough time in their relationship. Lockdown's been good for some and bad for others. And you and LK seem to have a very strong relationship, healthy, loving, physical. What rules have you set down for him? Because it's clear you're in charge.
Well, to be clear, these are relationship rules, and we've developed them together. And no, these are rules. We've talked about them. I remind him all the time of them because they work in my advantage. But they're good, and you're right. We do have a healthy relationship. It is a second marriage for both of us. So anybody that's unhappily married, big proponent of divorce, big proponent. But anyway, here we go. The first few are similar, but I definitely want your take on each of these manners. So number one, first and foremost, number one rule in our relationship: happy wife, happy life.
Yeah,
need I say more?
No.
Right?
Right. That's a non-negotiable.
Exactly.
But I guess we should set up this. I feel, having watched LK on the network, that you're really in charge on the home front. That part of LK's sort of, I don't know, need for attention on the YouTube channel is about the stuff that you're in charge at home, and this is a way for him spreading his wings, so to speak.
Yeah, I think we have a very fair, equitable relationship.
Well, that's good.
There's certain things.
You would see it that way. If you were in charge, you would see it that way.
We can ask the people in the chat. Okay, please chime in. You know what the right answer is.
So first lesson, happy wife. So no great insights there. Everybody knows that one.
And number two, perhaps
that's a daily battle for me, by the way.
All right, well, but you've been married 20 years, so you're doing something right.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for punishment.
What was that?
I'm a sucker for punishment.
All right. Number two, she is always right. And as long as you understand that, again, perfect marriage, right?
Yeah. I struggle with that one, but that's why you wear the pants in your household, because LK doesn't. And then that is a Latin thing that women sort of can, mothers especially, run the house.
But he cracks the whip.
That's in the bedroom.
Anyway, number three. This one's a bit of a financial one. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine.
Okay, yep.
Right? I mean, if I'm not entitled to his money and I don't get to keep my money, who's winning here? Right?
Yeah.
So
your relationship sounds like a nightmare, but continue.
But hey, it works for us. And actually, that's a great point, Manners. Whatever works in your relationship, right? I'm sharing what works for us. You have to establish your own ground rules.
Exactly. It's a good guide.
Number four, this is something I actually believe every couple should abide by. Don't let your kids interfere with your marriage. And there's two aspects to this. Number one.
Can you tell me how?
Well, first of all, there are families, and maybe this is an American thing, but you can obviously chime in. The kids are in sports, and they're in music lessons and swimming lessons, and the parents are everywhere all the time. And by the time the parents get home, they crash, and there's no couple time.
Yep.
And then the other part of that is, even when they are home, they let the kids come in the bed at night. No, fuck that shit. Okay. Everybody has their own bed. My bed is for me and my husband. That's it.
Kids, it sounds like it gets a huge workout, that bed. A lot of work.
The kids, you get one activity each. That you got to set limits, because if your relationship is not a priority, your kids are going to be fucked up. It doesn't matter how many activities they're in.
Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously, I've got two kids, and you're so busy, you have to make time for you and your significant other, just to connect, whether that's physically, which is my preference, but also emotionally connect. You just got to, block that time off, because it can get away from you, and you can go
Absolutely.
like weeks in a when school term and you're running around. If you don't plan it, then you can be fucked.
Exactly.
So yeah, I totally agree with that.
And especially for people with younger kids, you'd be surprised how much kids can do for themselves. Teach them, let them. My 4-year-old, I can say, you know what, go get your own snack, go get your own drink. I have a low cabinet. He has his own dishes, his own cups, whatever. You've got to come up with ways to let your kids be self-sufficient, because when they're 19, 20 years old and you're, I don't know, still trucking them around, or they're living in your basement, that's your years of freedom. Let your kids learn and
wise words.
Thank you. All right. Number 5. I think you'll like this one. First of all, let's set this one up. So, Manners.
So, Mrs. LK, the beautiful Mrs. LK, looking ever so lovely tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Iridescent.
You listen to Kirk every day, right?
No, of course, twice a day.
All right. So, what makes you keep coming back for more Kirk?
Oh, I mean, every day you never know what you're going to get. I mean, apart from, there's 10 things I love about him. There's 100 things I love about him, but it's entertaining, and every day is another wild ride.
Exactly. So it's unpredictable. So my rule number 5, the way we word it in our house, you can't have spaghetti every day. Keep things interesting, people. Unpredictability is great.
So how does that manifest itself? Give me some examples. Role playing, outfits, different, trying new things in bed. Tell me.
Missionary is great and all, but not every fucking day, people. Have some fun, live a little, try new things. And it doesn't just have to be in the bedroom. Go for a walk one day, ride a bike another day.
Take up a language.
Exactly. Do what works for you.
Yeah, okay, is going to take up English soon. Continue.
So anyway, to sum, you can't have spaghetti every day. All right, number 6. If you don't please your partner, somebody else will. Period. And that's in the bedroom, obviously. But anywhere else, right? If you're a fucking pain in the ass, you're a prick, you're always going to be the naysayer, you're not pleasing your spouse.
Yeah.
Be kind, do things to encourage them. You've got to. There's a common theme here, right?
Yes, you set the rules. LK follows them. These are all. But I see what you mean. That you just have to be sort of tuned into the needs of your partner sometimes. Yeah. Like if their needs aren't being met, and on my, I have a lot of needs. Have huge libido. It's crying out for attention always. You've got to make sure that's met, and also aside from that, emotional things are met. So
exactly,
you're there to support each other. If you've had a shit day at work and you just need to vent with someone, you got to turn those earballs on and have a listen.
Absolutely, you get it. I
do
meet your wife. She's a good woman.
She's an amazing woman. Imagine putting up with this shit.
All right, and rule number 7, last but not least, do not ever forget the fucking bacon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Well, we know that. We know that. So they're good rules. You and LK have a very strong relationship.
Yeah, it works. It works for us,
Yep. So I've got some questions. So Justin, if you're listening and not playing Call of Duty or something, if you see any good relationship questions in the live comments, just put them up on screen. I can see there's none at the moment, but if you are watching out there and you've got something you want to get off your chest, or you need answered, or you're not sure how to approach it with your significant other, whatever relationship you're in, gay, straight, whatever, just put the message in. Well, that's not really a question, Justin, but yes, who the hell wants spaghetti every day? It's an expression, Jason. It's an expression.
And Justin put in the private chat here, join a swingers club. Hey, you know what? To each their own. That's not for me. We are purely monogamous. But if your spouse wants to join a swingers club, it works for you, fucking have at it.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to judge anybody's. I would
No.
not want to go to a club and see some other guys fucking my wife. It just wouldn't turn me on. I know there's some guys that they do get turned on by that shit. You know, I've listened to
Exactly.
stories recently about this woman that's in a sugar daddy relationship with an older man, but she has a she has a long-term partner, and he loves it when she comes home and tells him about all the sex she's had with the sugar daddy, and then he fucks her and it turns him on and all that stuff. So, that stuff's just not for me, but obviously there's a market out there for it.
And I think the other thing it's implicit in some of this too is that you have to be open and honest with your partner about what works for you. And, I'll talk a little bit about my first marriage. It ended in divorce. I settled, right? I was 29 years old. I had this thing. I needed to get married by 30. And I was like, yeah, he's good enough. We were so not on the same page. And as my husband says now, LK says now, he's like, red flags, red flags. Yeah. There were red flags all over that relationship. But I think you got to be open and honest about what works for you. Again, physically, emotionally, all that stuff.
Now, good question here from Nicholas Boyle. What do you do when your partner disagrees with you about how you parent your child? And I actually... I have found that dealing with things about the kids is some of the hardest stuff to compromise on with your partner, because for example, my wife wanted a third child and I didn't. So you can't compromise on that. There's no half child. There's no, you're either all in or all out. So you can't compromise on that. And same with kid stuff. It's harder to compromise on bringing up your kids. So fortunately, I just defer to her judgment, because she's a wonderful mother and will make better decisions for their future. I mean, you've all seen me on air.
Yeah, but I think another point is too, like LK and I, we do parent somewhat differently, but all that matters is in front of the children, you have a united front. Because if you're split, the kids are going to see that and they're going to find that hole and they're going to pick at it. So you've got to have a united front in front of the children.
So is it bad then for me to have a group message with my kids where I say, okay, watch out, mum's in a bad mood, or mum's on the warpath, or is that bad?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's to some degree, you're strengthening the relationship you have with your kids, and that's not a bad thing.
I guess. And look, it is a warning mechanism, because when she's on the warpath, well, look out. Look out.
I think it's fair.
Now, question for you, Mrs. LK. Is it a red flag if your partner starts going on cross-country vacations with someone who is half their age and they only met 4 months ago?
I'm glad that the Kirk Minahan Network felt strongly enough to ask that question. Thank you. No red flags there. Thank you. Next question.
Okay, so we've got a couple of questions in from before the show. This is from Anonymous. Is the pull-out method safer than a cream pie? I mean,
I will relate this to the rules to some degree.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Whatever she wants, Yeah.
If
she's into that shit.
She wants it all over the face, do it.
Exactly. She's not into the throw a towel down or whatever.
Well, we've got, so this is from Steve from Providence. Men, as I come in my hand so as not to ruin my sheets. Weird or smart? Well, Steve from Providence has got 2 going at the moment. I think that's kind of smart from Steve, but it's also really the least sexual thing I've ever heard.
Or at least he knows where she's shooting his load and there's no risk of, impregnating somebody.
I wonder if he smells his fingers after or something, because I can imagine Steve is pretty disgusting.
No comment. Next question.
Well, we had one, Menace. Have you shared with your wife that you want to touch Tara where she goes pee? Tara and I have a really super above board friendship. She is a wonderful Minna lady, very amusing, but totally professional. Very professional man. So,
and who doesn't love Tara?
Yeah, of course. And I would touch her where she pees. So this is from Ted Sellers,
Ted. Brittlebone Ted.
Yeah, so he said, what sexual position do you think is better for wheelchair people? Lawn chair or reverse lawn chair? Thanks, I'll hang up and listen. So I don't have any experience with wheelchair love. I don't know about you, Mrs. LK.
I don't, but I'm just gonna spitball and say reverse is probably better, and they'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I had a look at the Kama Sutra, and there's a position called the deck chair. So I don't know if you could sort of just slightly alter that to a wheelchair, Ted. But I would suggest the Kama Sutra might be a place for you to go and do some research, because it's got, well, some wild and wacky suggestions there. What do you think?
I think that's a good piece of advice. I've never looked at the Kama Sutra. It always seems kooky to me.
Well, this is the description of that position. Women will melt like ice cream in the sun when man discovers the power of the deck chair sex position. It is a must-try deep penetration position that enables the man to assume control. I mean, that's all my hitting points there.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay, Mrs. LK is feeling uncomfortable.
The sex show is in 15 minutes. This is the relationship show.
Love, sex, and relationship is all one big hot mess. You know that, Mrs. LK. You can't just put lines around it. It all sort of mingles. So, but I'm a romantic. Obviously, I come across that way if you've been watching my shows. So, all this comes from my heart and
You're very passionate
and my testicles.
Very passionate.
Yeah. Another question from Kirk's desk. Question for tonight. This is from Kirk's desk. I'm on the desk dating app Timber. I list myself as hard wood. However, when it's time to get intimate with another desk, I seem to get softer than white cedar. I think it's nerves. Does Mrs. Latino have any thoughts on how I regain my snake wood status?
Wow, the analogies in there.
So have you ever been with a partner who's had issues getting it up?
I believe that's for the sex show in 14 minutes.
Okay, so assuming, is that it? So is that a yes or no, Mrs. LK?
I believe that's
for partner, but you're an older woman. You're an older woman.
Excuse me?
All right, so Mrs. LK does not want to answer that question, which means probably LK is the one that's had the problems, which is fair enough. I mean, I can see that.
LK has no problems in that department.
Okay, so have you had any experience in this field? A desk that cannot get it up?
I have zero experience with desks.
Okay, so I just think Kirk's desk that if you've ever had any problems in that area, it is nerves. So you need to find a desk that you feel comfortable with. Whether that's a pre-assembled desk or one desk you might put together yourself, and build sort of a relationship that way. But you need to feel comfortable, and then I think your problems with, having hard wood will be solved.
That seems like fair advice.
Why are you so uncomfortable talking about sex, Mrs. LK?
I prefer to talk about romance.
I mean, that's true, but it's not as interesting. Silent. I knew I was going to completely stump you with this. Completely stump you. So any more questions from the viewers? Do you have any more questions, Mrs. LK? You said you got a couple pre-show.
I think you covered the ones that I saw.
Jason from Attleboro just keeps putting in
those that aren't even worth dignifying. Sorry, Jason. Your friend has issues.
Yeah, he has issues. Fuck.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
So any rules in your relationship?
God.
Spoken or unspoken?
No, I think a lot of what you said makes sense. So, just being sort of there and giving and receiving and all that stuff. So I don't have any real rules. LK has put in, tell us how you started dating your wife. Well, I'll tell you, LK wants to know. It's actually a really romantic story. So my brother was living in Amsterdam, and he was working in an American comedy theater there, and my actual wife was one of his employees, basically. And I went over on a holiday to visit my brother in Amsterdam and with my parents, and I think I was maybe 20, 21, and I went to a hash bar in Amsterdam. Have you ever been to Amsterdam, Mrs. LK?
Yes, I have.
So I went to a hash bar, got like way more stoned than any little Australian man should, and went back to the hotel, passed out, woke up, got a message from my brother, basically, come to this bar, there's a work party. And I was like so asleep, Mrs. LK. I was lying in bed going, there's no way I can do this. But something, drew me out of bed, and I went to this club in the red light district.
It's like destiny.
It was destiny. I walked in and I met this English woman, and we spent the whole next 4 days together of my holiday. My parents didn't see me. And then I went back to Australia, finished college. She stayed there. And then a year later, I moved to Amsterdam. And that's when we got together. It was like love at first sight. And I didn't think that was real, but it was real.
So did you have to do anything to capture her, or just you walked in and that was it?
Look, I mean, look, I'm not necessarily a charming person, Mrs. LK, but you know me, I like to joke around and have fun and keep things light. So that's, when was trying to seduce women, I guess that would be my approach. Have fun, light. I think that, there's lots of ways to get into girls' pants, but one of those ways is through a sense of humor.
And that worked for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Obviously, looks weren't going to be the deal breaker. So,
well, that's good. And you said you've been married 20 years now, right?
Yeah, 20 years next year. Hoping to get married again in Vegas.
With her though, for the record.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a few contenders that might get in the way, but I was totally in love from the very first moment I met her. And I reckon actually for like 10 years, I never even looked at another woman. That's how in love I was. I was just locked in.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. LK is an attractive man. So Jason from Attleboro. I love holding hands and passion, but my partner doesn't. That is actually interesting because where are you on that, Mrs. LK?
So I think there's two things to cover on this one. Number one, you've got to find that common ground, right? Maybe holding hands isn't the end all be all. Maybe there's something that your partner likes that you also like equally. The other aspect of that is you have to explore that. And if that doesn't work out, the other aspect is maybe she's not, or that person is not the right partner for you.
Wow, Mrs. LK just threw that down like that.
Well, no, I go back to my first marriage. Don't fucking settle. It's not worth it, right? And you settle, it might last a couple years, but then you realize you're miserable and they're miserable. No, it's not worth it. So if holding hands is your red flag, move on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I find that for me, and I'm curious. Well, you had kids with LK when you got together, but pre-kids and post-kids has been almost two totally different relationships for me and my wife. Obviously, no kids, there's so much less stress. You got so much more time together. And then you add children to that. You add tons of extra stress to it. It did change the dynamic of the relationship quite significantly, but it was too late then.
But again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, right? You've got to still make time for yourselves. And I think not only does having kids change the relationship, it does change you as a person, right? And I still have the same interests. I still have my own identity. I still work full time, and but there is that aspect of being a parent that you have to change a little bit. But I think there's that as the natural evolution of a relationship, and having children there is, you have to build that into it.
Yeah, I would just say in my case that, my wife was one type of person pre-kids, and then kids changed her a little bit, and not just the kids bit, but also the added stress and what that does to, that puts a lot more stress on a relationship. So, I think, as you say, that's important. Then you have to really try and work harder to make it work.
Yeah. And then you have to keep in mind too, that the kids, while they'll always be in your life, they should only be under your roof for 18 years. You're 18 years old, you're fucking out of here.
Really? But I don't know what it's like in America, but in Australia, especially in Sydney, it's so expensive to move out and get a deposit on a mortgage and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we say 18. Honestly, if they're in college, they can come back home, but by 21, their asses are out of here.
Yeah.
But the point I wanted to make is, at that point, you still have your relationship, right? And if for 20 years, 21 years, you've let the kids dominate what your relationship is, you're fucked.
Yes.
So you still got to maintain that connection.
Yeah, I agree. You do. But I just think it's harder with kids. You know, when I meet couples that say they're not going to have children, I think that's great because, you know, you're probably going to have a fun relationship. But I do wonder, though, you know, if you get to, say, 50 and you've been with the same person, you have no kids, what's keeping you together? Like, it's, you know, when you have a family together and you have those experiences, you want to stay together, and you've got a shared love and everything for the children. But if you don't have kids when you're like 40 or 50 and you've been with the same person for 20 years and you don't have that, maybe you just think, well, time to move on. I mean,
I think that's a biased view. You don't know. I mean, you're in the shoes of somebody that has kids.
Yeah,
right?
That's why I'm speculating. You're right. 100% don't know. Absolutely. I could be 1000% wrong. Maybe you get to 40 or 50 and you've had no kids and your relationship's fucking awesome because all you've done is done good shit for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a question here. What am I watching? So this is the Minifan Mash. Just some news regarding the Minifan Mash. There'll be no 4th of July show. Because I am such a benevolent dictator, I decided to give Justin the day off. When we sort of put together the schedule for the Mash, we didn't really discuss the 4th. LK was desperate for the 4th to go ahead, but he's
a true American.
I'm a real gentleman, and I would like Justin to be with his family for that day and not have to come and produce this shit for an hour. So no 4th of July show. The final Mash will be Sunday the 5th, and then bang, Kirk's back on Monday. Have you missed Kirk, Mrs. LK?
I have. We've been, there's a lot of stuff to fill in the gaps or the void. By the way, I was hoping Kirk would show up. I was hoping to, be 3 for 3, but hey, can't always win.
Well, he probably saw last night's Mash and thought, never again.
I thought DEC did.
I think last night's was the worst of the lot ever.
I don't know, between wrestling and baseball cards it's just not me.
Okay.
But
I've got a question for you, actually.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So I wonder what it's like being a Minifan couple. The fact that obviously I can't talk to my wife about this stuff. She's not interested. She'd have no idea. Even trying to explain who Mrs. LK would be. Can you imagine? But you and, LK are both into the world. Do you sit in bed together, you're reading the paper or on your phones and, LK sort of says over and, what mad thing did Steve from Providence say today, and you have a bit of a giggle? Is that tell me what it's like being a Minifan couple.
Yeah, all right. So first of all, as everybody knows, he's been a Minifan way longer than I have. So there's still a lot of me. I don't understand some of the inside jokes, so I'll ask him some questions. He'll explain things. So there's that aspect of it. But I think that more to your point, it's almost like the gossip, Like,
yes.
It's like, oh, did you hear so-and-so did this? Or, oh, did you see that tweet that so-and-so did?
I love
fun.
that.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's cool that I get to talk to him about that. It's interesting, to say the least, to be in some of the chat groups with him. I think we're the only couple in the Mashup group, which has been an interesting angle.
I mean, you're the most prominent Minifan couple. I mean, I know.
Are there any others at this point? Oh yeah.
Well, I know. What's his name? Christian. Tara and Christian obviously got engaged at Madawaska, but he's not involved with the world much. Obviously, a fan, so I guess they can talk about it. But one of the reasons I love doing shows like this is because you can talk about the world. Like, otherwise I've got no one to talk about it with. I've tried to get my friends into it. Some have listened in bits and pieces, and me and Jamie, the other Aussie Stoolie, now message. But, as I said, I just imagine this scene with you and LK, you've just had a great time in the sack, and then you're there and you're just sort of reminiscing about the day's Minifan activities. I can imagine that would be very satisfying.
We do talk about it. It's a good time.
You sound like you have a very satisfying relationship.
I'm very happy and in love with my husband.
He's a great looking man, actually.
It's not just the looks either, though. He's bright. It's not just his looks. I mean, it helps for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's bright. He's mildly entertaining, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
All right, well, it's 8:30, Justin. So we've got the porn half an hour. I'm a romantic guy, loving guy, all about romance. Whereas now we've got the guys that want to rate the top 5 porn stars. So starts up here and we're going down. But it's going to be fun. I can't wait to watch it because it sounds like these guys watch a ton of porn, like tons of it.
No comment.
All right, bounce us out, Justin.
It's been fun, Leonard. Watching. Bye.
Mrs. LK, thank you.
What kind of a sell was that? What was Manners? We're not just porn heathens here. We don't just sit around and watch porn all day. That was the worst sell of all time. Talk about that for an executive producer. That was terrible. Jamie, how are you?
Not too bad. Ready yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Are you ready to break this thing down? Help out the Minifans out there with love.
Absolutely. We're just waiting on the Latino love god.
We're waiting on Latino love god, the doctor himself. Yep. Jamie, what's your relationship experience? Are you married? What's the deal?
We might as well be married, but we're not quite.
Okay.
But we have a child together, so
yeah. Okay. All right.
Might as well be married.
All right. Now, how long have you been in this relationship?
4 years, 5 years. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
She wouldn't know either, so that's the good thing.
All right. So I will. I've got plenty of questions here. Of course, we'll wait for the doctor to join us. Yeah. I've got about 14 questions, and then nice. we will eventually get into the porn stars if we have time. That's not the central focus of this. I mean,
on my list.
It's on your list. Perfect. We've done plenty of research. I had the ladies reach out to us. The roster ladies were looking to consult a little. I don't know about you, Jamie. I feel like there's things I need consultation on, and porn stars and porn is not something I need consultation on. I feel like
I'm pretty good with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got that all set. We're going to do a top 5 list, but I could go on and on with my list.
I could do 371.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same here. So consultation on that, I don't need. Consultation on hair, absolutely. I could use help on that all day.
Mine's not too great, so.
Yeah, well, you are the best-looking Australian Minifan. I'll tell you that for sure.
I don't know. There's a few you haven't seen. There's one that's probably better than me.
Don't soft sell, Jamie. Don't worry, you are.
The 2 that we know about.
Perfect. Yes. All right. So the doctor's coming in. I've got questions. I'm gonna kick it to you guys. Doctor, how are you?
Good afternoon. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good. So you guys have seen the questions. I'm going to pass it off to you. I've got questions, and I see Jason's already got some questions in there too. That's fine. I've got a few questions from Jason too. So we're just going to kick this for however long we go. First question is to you, Doctor. This question is from John. A few months ago, my girlfriend, together for 2 years, my girlfriend and I tried anal sex for the first time. She didn't really enjoy it. For me, it sparked an interest for me. I really enjoyed it. How do I proceed with her? And is it weird for me as a guy to like this? That was a question from John. So, Doctor,
he can buy a vibrator. Just go with it. Now, if he liked so much,
I like that.
Right.
I'm down with that. Jamie, what do you think about John's question? Is it weird for him to like it?
Nah, not at all.
No judgment. No judgment.
Yeah, that's it. This is no judgment zone.
That's
not going to kink shame. Yeah, no. It's...
and if he's asking regarding to her, I've been through this situation before with previous relationships, and my wife may run here and kick my ass. But before she comes, let me answer that quickly. I think things take time, right?
Yep.
You gotta work that out. You may start only like head in, then start a little more. Try different lubes. KY or KY hot. Something that changes the focus from the activity. So if you buy a lube which has like there's some sorts of lubes that has different sensations, right? It's taking the mind out of the main task, so that may help, but it's patience, right?
That's
You
good.
go one step at a time.
I
It's
like
about
that.
exploring.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry, Red.
no, please go
Most
ahead.
important, respect your partner's limit.
Exactly.
And
That's
there
what I would say.
are certainly limits there. I can tell.
Yes.
With John, it seems like it's going to be a tough process for him. It seems like he really enjoyed the experience,
Yes.
and he didn't. So my advice to John would be is, you don't want to force that. You don't want to push
Yeah.
it, like you said.
Hey.
Take it easy, right?
There's always the sleepy hand, right? he can claim he was sleeping, just start playing a little bit. Yeah.
Right. And see, that's what we're getting. We're again.
Hey,
Judgment-free zone.
sleepy stuff is always the best excuse.
Yep.
Can go there, just play a little bit. She's gonna wake up like, oh, what happened? So work that out, folks. That will helps all the time. Guaranteed. I may have used once or twice.
Oh, that's great. All right, so Jamie, this next question is for you. It's from her name is Allie B. Says, my boyfriend and I have been together for about 2 years now. He's a really nice guy. I'm nervous to introduce him to my family because he is handy capable and makes minimum wage, and they might look down on him for it. I love him. He does whatever I say and allows me to run the show. How can I get my family on board and like him?
I think that would be a great question for the previous show, right? Like the soft show. Mr. Latino Kirk and the giggly Australian. Didn't he look as soft as hell? Like the softest I've seen that Australian midget. Softest I've seen him.
Poor guy. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, what I would say is, hey, you gotta own it up. If you like him, if he fucks you good, you love him, bring him to your parents. If he's just your sex toy, accept it and go with the flow. Stop the BS. Stop being in the middle. Pick a side.
Sounds like he's a little bit of a whinger too. He's probably pushing to meet the parents, but just tell him, look, he does everything I want. I get to run the show. He just listens and follows on. She's obviously making more money than him. So
exactly. And then we go back to what the giggly girls talked about the previous half hour is red flags, right?
Yep.
Red flags are very important. Brad, you're married, right?
Oh, I'm married, yes.
Jamie,
Coming
you're
on
gonna get
11
married.
years now, yes.
Congratulations.
yeah, eventually.
Red flags is very important. And I would say, hey, if you start seeing those things that are weird, that doesn't sound good or sound natural, start counting those red flags and get the fuck out of that relationship.
Now, for you guys are both in relationships, obviously. Jamie, when it comes to that power relationship, that power dynamic, are you the one running the show at home? How does this work for you? Are you the boss?
At the moment, I probably am because she's still studying to be a doctor, but that's going to run out soon. And then I just go back to being a little bitch. So
No, I'm sorry, Jamie. Regardless if she works or not, the woman's always the boss. I'm sorry.
yeah, true.
Brad, you tend to agree, right?
Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly.
There's been many arguments and fights that I've taken the dive on. I've gone down early in the round and let her win because it's just easier that way. Path of least resistance.
Yes. I just got a stinky eye, by the way, from my wife. Let's keep moving. Now that I'm in trouble, let's do it.
Yeah. That's the thing is we still want you to be married at the end of this talk.
That's fine.
I don't want to make you look bad, okay? But I send my missus a bouquet of flowers every
Hey,
week.
listen. It's back to the anal things, right? After the head goes through, the rest is easy.
That's it, yeah.
And I'm on that point, like the head went through it. So now let's do it. Bring up the questions. I'm gonna sleep on the sofa anyway.
So
It's a comfy sofa.
we'll go back to the doctor for our next question. This one's from Tommy. There's a guy in my class, and I want him to like me. How do I get him to notice me? How do I get him to ask me out? I've seen him around campus. He knows that I like him. What do I do to get this love connection started? From Tommy.
I think Tommy sounds like a person that's like likes to be, in evidence. Maybe you are too much for your love interest, Tommy. Try to be less, show off. Less is more, instead of like, hairs up, all that, I'm just assuming, I don't know. But
you like the subtle.
Keep it subtle, say like, what's up? Like more subtle movements than just like trying to be the center of attention. I think that goes a long way.
I like that. Yeah. For you, Jamie, when you're trying to woo, or when you were wooing back in the day, what was your move? How did you do it?
Her dad really liked me.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, we went out on a date, and we bumped into him when we were having lunch, and he sat down with us, and we talked footy for like an hour. And when we got up to leave after he left, she's like, "Oh, I guess I'm stuck with you now. My dad's never got on with one of my boyfriends like this." And yeah, she was right.
There you go. So the place win her heart is win her dad. I like that.
Hey, sometimes if you need to humiliate yourself, go for it. Yeah. Bag, kneel, whatever you need. Even if it's even if that relationship will go nowhere, but you need to score that chick, go for it. No shame. Have no shame.
So this next question came from the horny Minifan chat that I was a part of at one point, and we're gonna keep this anonymous. This was one of those questions that they wanted to make sure it was anonymous. So I don't think the G-spot exists. I'm an experienced lover. I'm in my 30s, and my boyfriends haven't ever found it. What is your experience with the G-spot? Have you found it on your ladies? Is the question. Now, this gets complicated. I don't know how much you guys want to go into this. I will say myself, the struggle to find the G-spot has been a struggle at times with some ladies. Some ladies feel like they don't have it or don't feel like it does exist. I can tell you as an explorer, I have found it. It does exist. This is not a myth, but it does take some work. So I will leave that out to you guys.
Go ahead, Jamie. You go first.
I don't think I've found it with my current missus yet. I don't think so. I believe I may have in a previous relationship, but at the moment I'm just lost. It's like finding somewhere and then losing the map and forgetting where to go, how to get there.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I think the G-spot is something that may vary, right, according to the woman. But my go-to strategy is like inside, halfway through to the left. That's when I always try first, and that gets complicated because it depends on the shape of your dick, right?
Let me write this down.
If your dick is straight, you can just like angle it and go for it. But if your dick's curved, you gotta do some like dancing around, to hit that point, But like you start with like halfway to the left.
Okay.
Then you go from there.
I feel like Mrs. LK is rolling her eyes in the background.
She must be. This is different.
Listen, she enjoys it. Hey, listen, if she enjoys it, why not? I'm just sharing my knowledge. Sharing is caring.
Taking
there's nothing wrong with
video gets taken down. I need to make sure I have this, so I have it
down.
And Mayo is on the chat asking if we're gonna take calls. No, we're not taking calls, but you can write your question. Call me jabroni. Fuck you, Mayo.
I can't imagine.
No, just ask your question. You nerd-looking boy. Like, just ask your question. I'm happy to help you. Okay. Just don't start.
While we're waiting for Mayo's question, I'm sure he's got a lot of questions to help him. This one is from Adam's friend. Adam's friend asked this. Is it true that no matter what you do, women can't actually orgasm? So you might as well not worry about it and never even try. Is the female orgasm just liberal propaganda? That was from Adam's friend.
Adam's friend.
Yes.
I would say Adam's friend is a failure in life if he never seen a woman orgasm.
Oh yeah.
That's all I will say.
Not only
That's-
is it real, it lasts a lot longer than a male orgasm. It's actually really good to watch happen. So sorry,
And
Adam friend.
and that's when you find out that every woman's religious, because they are all gonna be, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So they are all religious at the end of the day.
Yep. They all believe in God at that point.
Oh yeah.
I will say yes, it is real and it is spectacular. It definitely is. So I feel bad for Adam's friend. Hopefully, Adam's friend can find the women, the female orgasm, because it does exist. This one is from Jason's friend. He's asking, am I allowed to enjoy getting pegged for the first time, or do I have to pretend that it's uncomfortable so I don't come across as a freaky slut? Was his question. Now, I will kick it off to you guys. I will say that when it comes to pegging, and pegging came up a lot in different chats that I've had before. Again, judgment-free zone. I don't. You guys can do whatever you want. People can do whatever they want, however they get down. To clown, that's fine with me. I am not a pegging person. I am. That's just not something I would be interested in. I've had the. I've gone to the doctor and had the test and had my area looked at. It's not fun. So I'm against pegging for me, but. To each their own. So I'll leave that up to you guys to answer Jason's friend's question.
I don't judge. That's not something that I've tried. What I will say is, and I'm going to try to be as respectful as possible.
Please do, doctor. Yeah.
I've never seen someone go back from liking it. Once you try, odds are very high that you will like it.
Okay.
Right? So I've never seen anyone that stopped liking butt sex. No.
Okay.
So there's nothing to be ashamed. Okay. Hey, is Lutz good? Okay, is Lutz not bad? Is Lutz good?
But to Jason's point, Jamie, I don't. If you're, this is the first time. It sounds like he's a little worried that he's going to, come off as enjoying it too much. He sounds like he's, a little tense about these things, a little. Bottled up. How do you feel about the pegging situation?
We've never tried it, but I'm not going to judge. But I mean, you just read the room. Does it feel like that sort of situation where if you do come off as a little bit like of a sex slut, is it going to be a bad thing, or will it be thought of as a good thing? So
you
just got to read the room.
Yeah, you can always use that to your advantage. Hey,
yeah,
I'm butt plugging right now. And you're
it may
not.
make it even better. So
you have those remote electric ones, right? You can buzz yourself. So just go with it. One up people. If you're talking to someone, Jason's friend, right? Talking to someone that also does pegging. He says, "Hey, you do pegging. I do pegging with buzz. Much better."
Exactly. Community.
Go for the blow. Go for the win.
I like that. So there's another follow-up question too. I had this sent to me from Andy. I don't know if this is from Andy Mayo or not. Just says Andy. When it comes to anal sex, do you think it's a requirement for the anal to be bleached beforehand? So it sounds like Andy is looking for maybe a little more production with his anal experience. I'm not familiar with any bleaching of the anus, so I'll kick that off.
I mean, I think that would be the most liberal libtard thing that I've ever listened in my life.
Yeah.
Okay. Bleaching. Why? That's like there's the natural thing. It's not about how it looks like. It's how it feels like. Okay. Stop with this bullshit bleaching. I had never heard this term up until like a month ago. There's no such thing. It needs to be smooth. As long as it's smooth, I don't care about what color it looks like.
A nice solid clean before you begin. That's all you need. None of this anal bleaching stuff. What the hell? That's too much effort.
It's wasting money. It's wasting. Why are you wasting money bleaching your ass?
Yeah, no judgment at all. It just
I judge.
When I'm watching, that part of the porn. When I'm watching an anal video, I see the professionals do it. It just seems like there's a lot of production that goes into it. Yeah. I'm assuming there's a dietary restriction that goes into it day of. I'm sure. I mean, LK, you eat a lot of spicy food, for instance. I don't know what the requirements are for going in there. I just feel like, there's going to be
yeah,
cleanup and everything else.
that's a problem. That's a
Okay.
problem, right? And you bring up a good point.
Oh.
I would never try anal like on a first date or with a girl that I don't know.
First date anal would be
it's too risky.
You're definitely not going to wife that woman.
Yeah, no. I've heard stories from some of my friends that like, nope, pass. It needs to be going back to if the girl likes or not. It needs to be something that you gotta not only work your way in, you gotta work the conversation. Hey, you like like put a finger here and there, and when you're like having sex, you gotta feel the situation, but you can't just like go cold stone because you don't know what they ate, and last time they were in the bathroom, like it can be a mess. So yeah, totally agree. The production of porn is one thing, but in real life you need to be careful.
Right.
But
as a rule, always use a condom for anal. Always. Like you don't want to run that risk. You just don't want to run that risk.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Thumbs down from the doctor. Oh no. Wow. Okay. All right.
All right.
It's a bold move. I like that. Let's see.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. I like that. Jason asks.
Jesus, Jason has a problem in both fronts, right? Relationship and sex.
Man, I got to tell you, I respect his hustle. He said, let's say there's a nice looking married lass who walks her dog by my friend's house every day, multiple times a day. Jason's friend is very active. Multiple times a day. How would one go about initiating a romantic interlude? So Jason is looking to spark up a conversation with a married woman Jason's friend is trying to spark up a conversation with a married woman as she's walking her dog by his house.
Get a dog.
This is difficult. It's been a long time since I've been single, boys. I don't remember having any kind of relationship with a married woman. It's judgment free. I'm not opposed to it. It's just not something that I've done.
His friend's not doing anything wrong. If they do get together, it's all her problem.
That is true.
So getting a dog is a good strategy, but you need to commit to the dog, right? Don't fucking get a dog and then abandon the dog, right?
And then take it back when it doesn't work.
Yeah, but a good strategy that I learned, or at least seen it, from actually my wife's uncle that used to live with us, is fucking go walk around the neighborhood. The same way she's walking with a dog, walk around, get to know people. That's how they will see you and get your attention. Another thing.
Vibe out in the neighborhood is what you're saying.
Yeah. Be the nice guy. Hey, good morning. How you doing? Strike conversation. Do the same thing that she's doing, because she's gonna be like, oh, this guy's out there. This guy's not shy, because women are looking for guys that are confident, right?
That's true.
Chin up, chest, pumped. Just go walk. Go. Hey, say hi. What's the problem? Be nice. Be like friendly.
Confidence
right?
is key.
Confident as well. Like Americans are very cold, right? That's like where the Latinos come from. We are friendly. We are warm. We talk to people, and like that's what women want. They want to see that you're not just like scared of everything. You're confident on yourself. So walking around, try to, maybe you meet up halfway through your walk. Strike conversation. Oh, nice dog. Let me pet it. Does your dog have a phone? All those cheesy lines. We go for that.
We won't get caught up in the married, not married.
It's irrelevant.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the other strategy is like my wife's uncle used to do. Just fucking sunbathe in front of your front yard. That's why he was fucking do it. And he would get all of the old ladies around the neighborhood.
I like that.
Works like a charm. He would walk, end his walk just like sunbathing in the front yard. Yeah.
I'll tell you, and I'm jealous of Ned Snark for living in Florida, because I had the best time as a younger red, a single red, hanging out down in Florida. There were a lot of older ladies, a lot of newly divorced ladies out there that were looking for young men. So walking around the Florida neighborhoods and finding those older women was a lot of fun. So
there are some guys that like older women. There are some guys that like younger, and vice versa.
Cool.
No judgment. Go find what
That's it.
attracts you.
So we got a question from BA. He did send a question in. He's on his vacation this week. He said his one question is pretty simple. It says, "Do you fully respect the box?" Is BA's question.
I absolutely respect the box. There is nothing more important than the box.
You respect the box. Jamie, do you respect the box?
Fully respect the box, 100%.
Yes. I think the three of us can agree. We are with BA 100%. We respect the box at all times. Absolutely.
I 100% stand behind his
absolutely. I feel like I'm a box. I'll tell you, I feel confident to say that. If I were going to get my my PhD, it would be in box. I feel like I could do that, but I'm not a learned man like Dr. LK. But I would do that. So there was another question from Lindsay Vaughn. She actually put this out here on Twitter. I caught it and I wanted to throw it in here. I thought it was a ridiculous tweet, but it was a good question. It says, I have a question. How do you feel about interracial relationships? Be honest. That was her tweet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll put that out there for the group, I guess. We could talk about it.
And
the floor is yours.
Lindsay Vaughn, she was so cute, right? Like 10 years ago. Like, blonde hair, like the eyes. All respect to me is okay. No, she was. And there's nothing wrong with interracial relationship.
Yeah.
No, isn't our blood always red? Like, what the fuck?
That's it. We all bleed the same color.
Skin color has nothing to do with anything, So go for it.
This tweet, I don't understand what that tweet.
I mean, it's someone trying to be politically correct and just backfires.
I wanted to put that out there, but as we're kind of wrapping up and coming up to the end.
Now, can I just add something?
Yes, please.
I've heard. I've never seen, but I've heard. I have some friends that use RedTube.com. You guys should check out. But they were saying that they were not complaining. They were just saying that there's a lot of more interracial and black videos on the homepage lately.
Really?
I thought it was interesting.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
have to check that out.
So we're gonna get into the top 5 porn stars. We're gonna rank them. We'll go around. I think we should go 5 to 1. And we are accepting of everything. We are a porn-friendly community. I think porn is happy, healthy. It's fantastic. You can enjoy it with your significant other. I'm not a complete fraud like Steve Robinson, who would just like still photos. That's not how I roll. I think you can go video, go as dirty as you want. I think that's fine. The reason why we're doing the top 5 porn stars is because Barstool had put up that list of their, 270, whatever. There was a random Twitter account that also had their porn stars ranked. So I will, I'll throw it up to you guys because you guys are far more interesting than I am for your top 5 porn stars. So Jamie, I don't know if you wanted to go first, sir, on your top 5.
Yep. So at number 5, I have Lana Rhodes. Do we all know who she is? She's a smoke show. Very good.
No, I don't. Never heard.
Research, LANARHODES. Adriana Chekic. She's another one.
Who?
Adriana Chekic.
Okay.
Haven't heard it. Okay, that's
that one I'm not familiar with, but I will certainly do my research.
Yeah, that went from here to here.
She's a brunette. She's a raven. So short-ish, brown hair, really good, very tanned, great boobs. Next one I've got is Riley Reid. I guess that's kind of a generic one.
That's a good one.
She's short, petite,
she's
very
experienced.
Good.
A little tidbit on her. She was named the top 10 actresses that could replace Jenna Jameson.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Huh. Jenna Jameson is a good callback. I like that.
Superstar. Married to Tito Ortiz, the MMA fighter. I think, what am I, number 2 now? Yeah, number 2, Elsa Jean. Do you guys know her?
Elsa Jean.
She looks like a celebrity here in Australia. That's probably why.
I'll look her up right now. Yeah, continue.
Does she fuck kangaroos or not?
No, she's not an Australian one. She's an American one. But
Yeah.
and number one, you guys probably don't know this person. It was probably the first one I got into. Is Dillian Harper.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I've seen her work. She's good. She's good. She's a professional. All right.
Very professional.
So I don't know how this goes for you, Dr. LK. I know it's just so weird that your wife.
No, I got a free pass for that.
Okay, you got a free pass for this. Okay,
Yes,
well,
yes, yes.
please, your top 5, sir. Top 5.
So my fifth place, Tory Black.
Ooh.
Yep.
She's a legend.
Right?
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah.
She is a willing partner, we'll say.
Yes.
She's aggressive. I like her. Yep.
So number 4, Riley Reid.
Hey.
Yep. Number 3. So the top 3 were very hard for me to, rank.
Very hard.
But
yes.
Top 3. The number 3, Christy Mack.
Christy Mack. That's
Yeah.
a good call. Is
Remember her?
Did she get beat up?
Beat up by the MMA fighter. Yes.
Yeah. See,
She has like half of her hair, like shades. Ooh.
Yep, I know the one. Yep.
I like the tattooed look. I like her vibe. I felt bad that happened. It's terrible, but
I honestly found out about her because of what happened, and then I started my research.
Supported her,
It was good.
isn't that interesting that you find out that she gets beat up and then you go back and look through her catalog?
Because I saw the picture of her with her eyes bulging, all swollen. It's like she's ugly. And then I saw her acting. It's like, no, she's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like night and day difference.
Her,
Yeah.
I love it.
So-
As we're having this conversation too. This is great. They can't see this, but intern Justin said hard end at 7:05. I love how he said that. Hard end.
All right.
Hard
So
end at 7:05.
my number 1 and 2, I wish I could give the number 1 for both, but Jana Jameson is gonna be my number 2. Okay.
Legend. Yes.
Yes, and that's why it was a struggle for me. But number 1 for me, my formative years, the time that there was no RedTube, PornTube, you had to download your own videos, find at the risk of getting viruses and all that shit. The struggle was real.
Preach.
Heather Brooke.
Heather Brooke.
Yes.
Wow, what a callback. Look at you.
You know her?
I am aware of Heather Brooke, yes.
Yeah, and you know what? She made a comeback. She's active again as Heather Harmon, her real name.
Oh, that's her. Okay.
Yeah.
I do know who that is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. iDeepthroat.com. It was a very interesting website back in the day.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Red, your favorite video from her.
All right. Well, no, my favorite video from her?
Yeah, come on. You got to have a favorite.
I got
We don't have that
to
long.
pull it up here, man. I can't remember that. I've got.
Blue Bikini. Blue Bikini has got to be the number 1 video.
Oh, that
Remember the dark blue bikini?
I remember that. I remember these. I remember that.
Virtual bump.
There we go. See, okay.
Yeah. I love it.
Coming
What's
together.
All right, top 5 quickly
All right,
before.
okay, here we go. Hard end at 7:05. Hard end. Here we go. Number 5, Tiana Trump. She is
Ooh, yep.
one of the younger
Yeah.
ones that I put in there, just because newer ones.
She's the blonde one, right? Blonde and skinny.
she's blonde,
Is that the
yeah.
one?
So she's African American, and she's got.
Then
she's got
it's
the
not who I'm
blonde hair.
thinking.
I kind of get bored with blonde.
It's generic.
Yeah, I don't. I dip into other things. So
I only have one blonde.
I am the Black Lives Matter, and I believe that in porn as well too. So I'm accepting of everything. And then number 4 for me is Jaden James. I was
Yep.
disappointed when she retired. Again, these are all ladies that are into it, and they sell it, and you can tell they enjoy it. And nothing I hate more than watching a good video where the story's not there and she's not into it. You can tell she's really acting. I can't stand that. So Jaden James is my number 4, and then Lisa Ann is number 3.
She just missed out on my top 5.
Body of work. I like the older.
Can't go wrong with it. Yep.
MILF man from way back. And then number 2 is Dave Portnoy. I think Portnoy Put together a strong career, a few videos here and there. Put together a strong career. So Dave Portnoy's my number 2. I'm a big fan of Froggy Style. And he likes callers in the bedroom. He's business casual, which I appreciate.
He's okay to leave
heads down.
And then
heads down.
Heads down. And then my number 1 is Brandy Love. Number 1 is Brandy Love.
Someone had to say it.
She's a Minifan. I love Minifans. Lady Minifan are fantastic. So Brandy Love is mine. Gentlemen, thank you. I think we've
thank you.
A lot.
You, Rad.
Okay. Enjoy your holiday weekends, Minifans.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good
happy
night.
4th, guys.
Happy 4th. Cheers.
Happy 4th.